This disc review is brought to you by DareDevil Discs. Check out DareDevilDiscs.com for more information on their full line of high-quality Canadian disc golf discs. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my review of the DareDevil Discs Ogopogo. This is a really interesting, overstable fairway driver. Super unique. If you saw my little unboxing video, you kind of already know why and, well, you know, what makes it so unique. But if you haven't, stay tuned and you'll see soon enough. Extremely interesting disc. I'm really happy to check it out. Big thank you to DareDevil Discs for sponsoring the review, hooking me up with this disc to test and review for you guys. I appreciate the support. And let's get on with the review. So, let's a little look at this guy first of all. Interesting stamp. I kind of like the symmetrical animal type themes that they're going with on their newer run discs. There it says DareDevil Discs, Elastic Performance Driver. There's a little logo there. There it says Ogopogo. And the numbers here don't necessarily correlate to other companies you might be familiar with, like DD or Innova. I would say the fade on this one's probably around a 3, and the turn on like an Innova or DD scale is probably more like a 0. But you guys know, not to put too much stock in the numbers. They're basically just a guideline to kind of help you understand the difference between two different molds of the same manufacturer. You can't really reference Innova numbers and DD numbers and expect them to all line up. I mean, there's a lot of interpretation based on that stuff, so don't take it as gospel. Just use it as a tool to kind of compare within the same company. So on the underside here, you can see where right in there in the light where it says, trying to get it to come up. There's a little Maple Leaf Canada driver. There's a DareDevil logo. DareDevil discs. I don't know the weight on this disc. They didn't have any kind of pen markings or anything on the bottom mentioning the weight, so I don't know what it is. I really need to get a scale just so I can check stuff that doesn't have weights on it anymore, whether it's a used disc or whatever, and just determine once and for all what the weights are on some of these things. But I also don't pay a ton of attention to weights when I'm testing discs. But yeah. So yeah, interesting looking disc. Let's take a look at the rim profile here. So you can see it's got that pretty overstable profile to it. Pretty flat on top as well. Not a lot of dome at all to it. Almost a little bit indented. And yeah, it's got that, definitely got that overstable kind of Firebird Felon type rim profile. And that's kind of how it flies as well. But here's the interesting and unique thing about this disc is it's a driver, it's overstable, but I can do this to it. It's pretty interesting that you can do that to a driver. Mostly, if you're going to find anything remotely this soft, it's going to be a putter. So I think it's a really interesting and cool idea to make an overstable driver in this, started to fuzz out there, in this really just incredibly floppy, soft kind of rubber plastic. I absolutely love the feel of this thing. It's incredibly soft, as you can see. It's super gummy. The whole thing is just really flexible. It grips like crazy. I mean, it just has an amazing grip to it with that really tacky, sticky rubber feel to it in the hand. You feel like you can get such a good grab on this thing, and it just feels really great. This would be a great disc if you like softer plastics. Maybe you live somewhere that's really cold. This would be a great disc for you to check out, because even in extreme temperatures, this thing will still probably maintain a decent amount of flexibility. I would be interested to see what this thing feels like on a hot day. I mean, as you can see how soft this thing is now, when it comes summertime, I'm really interested to see what this thing feels like. I'm definitely going to keep it and check it, see what happens, because I really like the feel of it. Besides just the grip, another benefit of having it be this soft, and I believe the intended benefit from DareDevil's perspective, as far as I can extrapolate, is that it just stops on a dime. It doesn't have a lot of skip to it, especially if you throw it up high in a hyzer. As you can see, it lands, it'll just eat that impact and it'll just drop. Very little skips to it at all. It grabs the ground, it grabs the grass really nice. So if you need like to throw kind of you know, a risky approach where you want to throw it up high and let it spike down and stick near the basket, this is pretty much the most ideal disc for that shot possible. So let's talk about the flights of this thing. Very overstable, but not super crazy overstable. It's not like you know, a total meat hook. You can get it to fly a little bit of a straight line and then finish back. It's got plenty of fade to it for sure. Again, I would estimate on a number scale you might be more familiar with, more of a 3 or a 4 for fade. Definitely a strong fade for sure. It reminds me a lot of like a Felon or a Firebird type fade on it. It will kind of hold straight for a little while, and before it starts fading out, you can also throw it on some anhyzer and get kind of a flex line out of it, which is nice. I think this would be a really great sidearm approach disc for people who like to throw drivers on kind of shorter ranges for sidearm approaches. I think this thing would be a fantastic disc for that. I liked it for a little like out and around sidearm shot out in the field testing it. And yeah, just a tremendous like up and over spike hyzer disc that you want to land and stick. It's just a great disc to have if it's a windy day and you want to throw something stable and just trust it to land and stay where it lands. This is a great disc to have in the bag. Definitely a very trustworthy, consistent disc with that incredibly unique soft plastic feel. I definitely recommend checking out the Ogopogo if you're interested in those characteristics. It's a really unique disc, very interesting, and I'm happy to have tested it out. I am going to keep this disc and probably put it in the bag on windy days, and maybe all the time, and just, you know, keep experimenting with it on those risky approaches where I really need something to sit down and I want to throw something that's very consistent. It should be a really excellent disc to have in the bag. So that's my review on the Ogopogo from DareDevil Discs. Big thank you to DareDevil again, and thank you so much to all you guys for watching. Continued support of my channel, I really appreciate it, and see you soon. Bye.